The finale of 56 Days pulls every thread tight, not with a courtroom verdict, but with a choice. A choice about love, about guilt, and a choice about who deserves a second chance. By the end, someone escapes, and someone quietly decides to stop looking too closely. The big reveal is simple but devastating. Dan Shroxer is dead because Sierra, aka Megan, hit him. On day 34, Dan storms into Oliver's apartment. He isn't there to reconcile, he's there to control. He blackmails Oliver with a letter confessing to Paul's childhood death and demands millions to keep quiet. Dan frames everything as protection, but what he's really doing is exploitation. When he escalates, threatening Oliver, demanding $5 to $10 million, Sierra acts, and she hits him. It's not premeditated, it's not calculated, it's fear and survival colliding in one irreversible moment. The autopsy later confirms blunt force trauma. Surveillance proves he entered the building and never left, and that's the truth. In the present timeline, detectives uncover who Dan really was, a disgraced therapist stripped of his license, illegally practicing, previously involved in drug trafficking. He wasn't Oliver's protector, he was another manipulator. He kept Oliver dependent for years, holding on to that confession letter like insurance. His therapy was leverage, his silence had a price tag. So when Sierra kills him, the show quietly asks, is it murder or is it breaking free? After Dan's death, Sierra calls her sister Shyla. They discuss a chilling case where a body was dissolved using chemicals and heat. It's clear what they're considering, disappearance. Oliver immediately switches into escape mode, fake identities, safe emptied, private plane to Reykjavik. He tells Sierra he trusts her completely. But there is a shift happening. For Oliver, running is instinct. For Sierra, it's starting to feel like another prison. At the airstrip, when Oliver describes luxury compounds and isolation, Sierra quietly admits something powerful. That life feels like hell to her. This is the emotional climax. For the first time, she isn't following him blindly. Meanwhile, Sierra sends her mother $2 million, enough to stop the foreclosure and then some. The letter is layered with reflection about forgiveness, secrets, and fate. She doesn't frame herself as innocent. She frames everything as balanced. Both she and Oliver paid dearly. Both made mistakes. Both survived. It's not legal justice. It's emotional accounting. In the present, Lee and Carl piece everything together. Lee believes Megan killed Dan to protect Oliver. Carl questions it but doesn't push hard enough. They even request to step away from the Crossings case due to conflict of interest involving Finch. It's subtle but important. The detectives see the shape of the truth, they just don't fully pursue it. Maybe they're tired, maybe they believe some storms should pass. Sometime later, Sierra and Oliver are alive, free, living somewhere tropical, palm trees, sea air. They have a baby named Shane. When Sierra jokes about whether he's crazy like mommy or crazy like daddy, it isn't dark, it's self-aware. They survived, they rebuilt, but the storm imagery matters. Thunder rolls in, lightning crashes. Oliver points out the storm is coming. The show is telling us something. Peace doesn't erase the past, it just means you've chosen to live with it. The finale isn't about whether Sierra got away with murder, it's about transformation. Dan represented manipulation, exploitation, and control. Oliver represented trauma and avoidance. Sierra represented reinvention, sometimes reckless, sometimes brave. When Dan dies, it's the death of the old power dynamic. When Sierra rejects the compound fantasy, it's the death of blind devotion. And when they're found on that beach with a child, that's rebirth. The show suggests something morally messy but emotionally honest. Sometimes justice isn't clean, survival requires destruction, and love is forged in the wreckage. Sierra ends the story hopeful, ready for tomorrow and the day after that. But with that storm rolling in, one question lingers. Can you really outrun who you used to be, or does it follow you quietly into paradise?